Did you know? Did you know that your membership in the Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership gives you access to a community of people who are also on their servant leadership journeys? In this short video, we're going to give you a quick sampling of how to connect with others and begin that networking process that is valuable for all of us. To begin with, we're going to start with the main feed page. We talked about how to log in the first two videos, so we're not going to rehash that here. So once we've gotten into the main page and we see our feed, we have a couple of different ways we can do this. We're going to start by finding the button at the top of the screen called Connections and clicking on that. And then we will be taken to a screen that shows us the people that we have connected with already. Now, connecting on this site is much like how you would do that with friends and colleagues on LinkedIn or Facebook or other social media sites. So just so you have that understanding. And then there's a couple of different ways to begin the networking process here. You can scroll through your pre-existing connections, and as you can see, I have several. But also, it will suggest to you other available connections. So I'm going to select Linda Belton here, and I'm going to click on the Connect button. And what this gives me is a little pop-up screen that allows me to type a brief message to Linda and then say, I'd love to connect with you. We're both interested in servant leadership, whatever the message might be. If it's someone you know, obviously it's going to be an even more personalized message, but then click the send button. I'm going to close that out for now. So that's one way. The other way is to view all available connections. And this will take you to essentially a list of everyone who is on the site. And so you can begin to scroll down through, and depending upon how well folks have filled out their profiles, you can tell right away if there's people who are from your area or region of the country or planet for that matter, or if you see a job title that has some interest to you. And as you can see, this goes on for a few pages because in the lower right-hand corner I have a next button that will take me to the next screen. I see John Drake here. So what I'm going to do to see if I can find out a little bit more about John, because he's a neighbor of mine in Indianapolis, I'm going to click on his name, and this brings up his profile page. And so this is where I can find out more about John, and if I need to connect with him, I can click the connect button and go through that same process like we did just a few seconds ago. You can do this over and over again with the people in the membership base and begin to develop and build your network. Now, there's one other way to reach out and build and grow your network, or to see who's there. Click on the, oops, let me back up real quick. I did it before I said it. At the top of the menu, you see directory. So we click on that link, and you'll see a basic search screen that comes up. And if you leave it blank, if you leave all of these blank, the search will turn up everybody in the database. And as you can see, it's going through the process of searching, and there we go. And a map shows up, which we aren't using very well right yet, but we will. And you begin to go through all the people who are in our membership database. What we're going to do is go back to that search screen again and look at other ways we can fine-tune our search. For example, there are some groups on the site, and we will continue to add groups, but right now we have groups for people who are in the Academy Foundations class with Phil Anderson. We have consultants who've been certified to use the best test assessment for organizations. There is a group for education and researchers, educators and researchers, a group for the trustees or the board members of the Greenleaf Center, and then two student groups, one for student ambassadors and one that's an open group for any student. So if we wanted to figure out or find out who's in the student group, we would just click that link, and again, depending on if we were looking for students in a certain geographic region of the world, we could narrow that search or type in a search. I'm going to type in Indiana, and we'll see what we find. And right now we have no matches. So I will go back to that search. I will take off the Indiana search term, and I will just search. And it begins to build the screen with the various student memberships on. And again, you can reach out to these individuals much the same way as we showed earlier through the connecting process. And that's really it. You begin to build and connect your network and go for it. This is one of the wonderful things about this community is that we have amazing people who can be fabulous resources with and for each other. So connect away.